With Mwane dead, Teddy Kasanga became the de facto leader of Gaza, with Kimondo assuming the position of the second in command. Mwane had proven to be a visionary leader. In his short reign of less than 3 years, he ensured that all his gang members were armed. In their armory was an AK-47, several Seska and mini Seska pistols. The new leaders did not inherit a dilapidated gang. Their previous leader had actually done a lot for them. Teddy's work was more diplomatic. He only needed to plant informers within the police and continue with the work of his predecessor. Teddy and the remaining miscreants were still in hiding after they waited the raid that had left Mwane's Pata dead. One Kimondo fearlessly took to his social media to mourn Mwane's Pata and reinstated that they would attend the burial of their former boss. Their threats were however hot air, as Mwane's burial was marked by heavy police presence and no goon dared to attend. Teddy organized a hit-out at Moya Town in Kirinyaga County and sent 7 of his goons. This mission was to check if the police were still monitoring their movements. True to their fears, the 7 miscreants were cornered by the police at Makutano Junction. None of the 7 miscreants survived the shots of Hesi, which could only be likened to those of Johnny Sins. Aware that the police were still on their case, Teddy devised a new strategy. He split Gaza into 2 subgroups, one led by himself and another one by Kimondo. They would conduct their operations separately and only unite when sharing the spoils or important information. The death of Mwane had badly exposed the informants within the police. Gaza gang members who felt betrayed had sought the informers to their seniors. The rogue police officers began seeking transfers. They feared they'd be killed by either the goons or by their colleagues. This is to mean that by the time that Teddy came to power, he had no informants in the police. His first task was to compromise the police, something that he did with ease, since he had learned from the best. In a short time, he had informants across Kayoles, Choka, Njiru, Molem and Ruai. He was now ready for the task ahead. Teddy's reign as the leader of Gaza was marked with a lot of killings. In September 2017, they shot dead 2 civilians and left without stealing a thing from them. The same day, they also shot dead a security guard. 3 lives in 24 hours. They had no respect for life. 2 months later, they shot dead a police officer as the area MP watched in disbelief. The officer was trying to arrest a miscreant who had snatched a phone in a small gathering when someone shot him on the head. They had also shot dead 2 police officers at Kayoles and made away with their guns, a Seska and a mini Seska. They received intelligence that police had intensified their surveillance, prompting them to move out of Nairobi's eastlands. One group led by Kimondo left Kenol in Murang'a, while the other led by Teddy Kasanga moved to Tala in Machakos County. Police were not letting go of them. They were all marked for death. First to be dealt with was the group that had moved to Kenol. Police ambushed their rented house, leading to a deadly gunfight. Police requested reinforcement of the Reke squad, and after 5 hours of shootout, all the miscreants were down. With Kimondo and his colleagues dead, all eyes were now on Teddy. However, very few was known about his whereabouts. Unlike Kimondo, Teddy was wise enough not to use his phone. Neither were his gang members allowed to use the gadget. They would only communicate either through smoke signals or by sending messengers. Police would later find out that Teddy and his gang were hiding at Tala Town. However, this was the only piece of information that they could gather. After a month of tracking, his phone proved futile. They devised another strategy, to track him down on foot. They knew Mwane and Kimondo were obviously missing him so much, and they were determined to fix their meeting. A contingent of undercover police were deployed to Tala. In Tala, they posed as boda riders, hawkers, matatu totes, or roast-maize sellers, all in a bid to gather information about Teddy Kasanga or his whereabouts. They entered the dungeons and the pits of Tala town, but still couldn't find Teddy. The search for Teddy had become a mission impossible. 6 weeks had passed, and no leads indicated that Teddy was indeed in the small town of Tala. Before they quit the operations, they gathered intelligence that Teddy was hiding in a small market of Kadhaani in the outskirts of Tala town. They went back to the drawing table to devise the approach plan. The dates and the time were agreed. On the 2nd of December 2017, in the early hours of 6 a.m., police, Armed as if they were heading to a IT ambush the rented house in Kadhani Market. The morning attack caught the miscreants unawares. Acting on reflexes, one miscreant reached at the boiling water meant for the morning tea and poured it on the sleuths. What followed was a fierce gunfight. As the gunfight intensified, one officer was shot on the foot and badly injured. One miscreant had been neutralized, but Teddy had managed to escape to a neighbor's house, taking one Shadrach Cheriot as a human shield. As he escaped, he shot dead the young man. Police were not letting go of him, not after killing an innocent person in their watch. Together with the two miscreants, they ran towards Mwanyeni Market as police pursued them. At the market, traders who had woken up to a beautiful morning were met with a real-time DJ Afro movie. Teddy tried to camouflage amongst the traders, but the scared women ran helter-skelter while screaming on top of their voices. This exposed Teddy to the police and the exchange of fire continued. In 2 minutes, Teddy and Sammy were neutralized. The remaining thug tried to escape but was cornered by angry mob. It had been a long day for him, and yet it was still very early in the morning. He had cheated death more than twice in an hour, but it was now certain that his time to die had come. His friends had been sent to hell and their souls were calling for him. Police were on his case, and the mob was already doing him injustice. He pulled out a Seska pistol and shot himself in the head, opening up his skull. Eyewitnesses claimed that he had a very small brain. That marked the end of Teddy and the group that had moved to Tala. The death of Teddy Kasanga meant the end of Gaza. The new dawn in town was boogie.